All right, welcome back to DragonWorks. I think I just got inspiration for my next build. How about a slam down digger style street bruising muscle bike? Something vintage with a lot of power. Anyway, yeah, like I'm ever going to get to that. 1980 Suzuki GS550 Scrambler build. As you can see, there's a little bit of progress. Those who've been following remember a customer started it, the project, basically stripped the bike down to nothing and had the frame sandblasted and rhino lined, and that's where he stopped. Just didn't have the time to get to it. And so anyway, here we are. So you can see that I did get the engine mounted in the frame. That's actually in there for good. Some of this stuff is mock-up. I'll go over that, but thanks to Dragonette for coming in on a Saturday and helping me with that, because I definitely couldn't have done it without her. She was a big help, very patient, and it went very well. Usually trying to get one in, you get a little nick or scratch or something here, because it's a super tight fit and you got to wiggle it around and it don't just go straight in. And you got two freshly painted surfaces. So anyway, it's usually somewhat disastrous sometimes. But it went off without a hitch, not even one little scratch or ding. So thank her for coming in and helping me out with that. I got the front end here is just on there for mock-up. I do have seals and dust covers coming for these forks. And we're going to do the shock boot looking thing like on the 850 over there behind it. Sorry, I'll get the camera with two hands again. Sorry, I get to talking with my hand and then the camera's bouncing everywhere. But yeah, it's just on there for mock-up right now. I still got some work to do there. So you can see we got the engine in. I did go ahead and get the battery and electronics tray fabricated here. I got my seat mounts fabricated. You'll see when I pull it off. Right now I don't have it bolted down. That's what it looks like when it's bolted down. And you remember me going crazy talking about I had to get the gap just right. That's just how I like it. Which took, you know, a good bit of figuring out. You're going to see the bracket is simple, but it took a lot of figuring out to get it there. I'll explain. But anyway, here's a bracket I made for the back. And yeah, I got to touch it back up because I keep scratching. I've took this thing, took it off so many times now. Just looking at it and getting an eye for it and everything that I got to go back over this. But here's also the bracket I made for the tank. But this bracket, the reason why it took so much engineering, because this bracket kind of serves two purposes. It's one for the tank mount. And if you remember, they had this real long tab on this tank. I had to cut it off. It was interfering. I don't know why they did that. That's why that looks funny, but it will work just the same. Because what I did was this little clip on here, I'm going to switch hands, hang on, goes underneath of that bracket as well. So it serves a purpose to hold the tank, but then also the seat. And see, that's why I keep scratching. You got to kind of slide it over. So that holds it. It's really tight right there. Both of them are extremely tight. There'll be a little rubber bushing goes underneath of the tank there. But anyway, so you see what I got there. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer about that. I got the wheels painted up yesterday. I believe this is a custom, like a GS550 custom. That's why it comes with the mags. A lot of times you'll see Scramblers with spoke wheels on them. But he's trying to keep costs down, so we're just repurposing what he has and reconditioning it, basically. Because originally it was going to be like a full blown out build until he started adding all the dollars up, and then we cut it back a little bit. So we're repurposing a lot of stuff. The tank was from overseas, and it's kind of rough. The manufacturing's really rough in it. It had a lot of dings and dents and little tiny things, and up under the tunnel was real jagged, and the seam was really rough. So it took me a little time to get it smoothed out. I had to do a little bit of body work. And then when I got done, I just hit it. Oh, sorry. I'm doing it with the camera again. I just hit it with this quick self-etching primer I got out of a can just to hold the rust off of the metal and protect the body work. That'll get all sanded down, and then I'll do some primer surfacer that will smooth that tank up quite a bit. And so to talk about the elephant in the room, maybe the Rhino lining looks to be a little much right here, but when you see the color scheme we're going with, it's going to be, I'll get some samples of it, but it's going to be this vintage green with a cream color. So it's going to offset like a contrast on that lining. I think it's going to be perfect. It's going to be a really nice combination. He had a really good vision. I think with, what it was he wanted. So that's what I'm paid to do, give the customer what they want, and that's what I do. So, it's going to be pretty sweet. So I think that's going to, break it up a lot, So I'll probably, mentioning that, so we'll do, green tank, and then he's going to get the emblems because that's the kind of tank he bought for the Suzuki emblems, and do cream emblems, and maybe I'll do some kind of design on the top. And then I'm going to take the same green stripe, go around the wheel, and then I think I might do a little fender on that, kind of like I did on the 850. I just take the stock fender and cut it to a shape and put a little bit of paint on. That should break up that lining. And like I say, it's going to be such a perfect contrast that I think the colors and everything will offset one another. And it's going to just turn out to be really, really sweet ride. So I think that about covers it for now. That's not the handlebars that are going on here. I just had them laying around for mock-up purposes. And we still got to get lights. The shocks are ordered. I have bearings for the stem order. We're putting new bearings and everything in it. Like I said, I'm going to be rebuilding the forks. So we just got things on here again once as a little bit of a mock-up, and get some pictures and get with a customer and all that stuff. So I thought, well, it's a perfect time to shoot a video. But anyway, tell your friends, like, subscribe, share, send some work, what have you. That's it, just honest work, quality work, give the customer what they want within reason. And away we go. But yeah, making progress. I get to work on it about one day a week because I've got all this other work in here. So, a lot of times by the time you get situated and get going on, you got to work as hard as you can to get this much done. I can tell you that right now. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for watching. Dragon says, peace out. Sorry about the shakiness. See ya.